Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Always fun to be back.
So today we're going to be looking at AI.
Oh yeah, it's a hot topic.
It is, really is.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, and we're looking specifically at
How to make some money with it.
exactly how to
Yeah.
make it pay off
ROI.
ROI. You got it. So
Return on investment.
exactly, and we found this great ebook by NVIDIA
Oh, cool.
all about maximizing that ROI on AI projects.
Especially with their systems.
Yeah, they really focus on the DGX systems.
Makes sense.
And one of the things that stood out to me in the ebook was the stat that only 8% of organizations
Only 8%.
are seeing 20% or more of their operating profits
Wow.
coming from AI.
So 92%.
Yeah, 92% are
Still
still,
working it out.
yeah, kind of struggling to figure it out.
Big gap between the hype and the reality.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive, to really look at some of the practical strategies that they outline in this ebook. And the first thing they talk about is doing your homework.
Oh, that makes sense.
It sounds really basic, but
You'd be surprised how many people skip that step.
I think you're probably right.
Jump in without a plan.
Yeah, they get really excited and just want to jump right into the AI pool without even
Testing the temperature.
yeah, or figuring out what kind of pool it is, or,
Or if they even need a pool.
exactly, or if they should be swimming at all, maybe they should be doing something else.
Right.
So yeah, doing your homework, that's the first step, and it's really all about understanding the problem you're trying to solve.
Defining the problem is huge.
Yeah, and making sure that AI is actually the right solution.
Don't just use AI for the sake of using AI.
Right, exactly. Maybe there's a simpler solution.
On a better way.
Yeah, there might be something else out there that's going to be way more effective.
Way more cost effective.
Exactly. And something else the ebook talks about that I thought was really interesting was this idea of having a roadmap
Oh, yeah.
with clear goals.
You got to know where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to track the success of this AI project?
But what are the metrics?
Yeah, what are the metrics? What are you actually trying to achieve? Is it going to be increased revenue?
Yeah, or is it going to be,
efficiency?
streamlining a process?
Exactly. And having those metrics defined up front is so important.
Keeps everyone on the same page.
Yeah. And it also helps you prove the value of the project to whoever's funding it.
Stakeholders.
Exactly. They want to see results.
Show me the money.
Right. And speaking of results, let's say I'm a business owner.
Okay.
And I want to use AI to analyze all the financial documents that we generate.
Right.
Do I just need a regular computer for that?
That's a good question.
Would that be enough?
Depends on the complexity.
Okay.
If it's a pretty simple analysis,
Okay.
a standard computer might be fine.
Okay.
But if you're dealing with tons of data, really complex stuff,
Yeah.
you're going to need something more powerful.
Okay.
The ebook talks about what are called generative AI models.
Okay.
Those require serious computing power.
So basically, the more complex the task, the more powerful the computer.
Exactly the right tool for the job.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't use a hammer.
To screw in a light bulb.
Right. Exactly.
Different tools for different tasks.
So that's where these specialized platforms come in, NVIDIA's DGX systems.
CUP is built for AI.
Yeah, they're designed to handle that heavy lifting.
The heavy lifting.
And some pretty big companies are already using them.
Like who?
Like BMW, they're using DGX for this initiative they call Green Physics AI.
What is that?
It sounds like
Sounds very futuristic.
sci-fi, I know.
Yeah.
But it's actually all about sustainability.
Oh, wow.
They're using AI to optimize their factories.
So they run more efficiently.
Exactly. And that helps reduce their carbon footprint.
Very cool.
Yeah, they're analyzing tons of data from manufacturing processes using something called SORD.ai.
SORD.ai.
It's a synthetic data set.
Interesting.
So basically, they're creating a virtual version of their factory.
So they can see where the inefficiencies are.
Yeah, to see how they can make things run more smoothly.
That's really smart.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing, and it shows how AI combined with the right infrastructure
Can have real impact.
yeah, not just on the bottom line, but on the planet.
Yeah.
So that's doing your homework, making sure you have the right problem, the right solution.
Solid foundation.
And then the next thing the ebook talks about is de-risking your projects with the right software and tooling.
Okay, so we got the hardware.
Yeah.
Now we need the software.
Exactly. We need the brains to go with the brawn.
The brains.
So why is that so important?
Well, think about it. You could have the best data scientists in the world
Okay.
developing cutting-edge AI models.
Uh-huh.
But if you can't get those models from development into production,
Yeah.
It's all for nothing.
All that work wasted.
Wasted.
Yeah, the ebook mentions a study that found only 47%
Less than half.
of developed AI models actually make it into production.
That's scary.
That's really scary, especially if you've invested a lot of time and money into these models.
Yeah, you need that software infrastructure.
Yeah, so what's the solution? What kind of software are we talking about here?
Well, NVIDIA suggests
Okay.
NVIDIA Base Command.
Base Command.
It's a platform that provides all those essential tools you need
Okay.
for AI development, like optimized libraries and
MLOps?
MLOps tools. Yeah.
So is it kind of like a...
Pre-built foundation.
Yeah, like a toolkit for AI.
A toolkit, exactly.
And NVIDIA uses it themselves, so
If it's good enough for them.
it must be pretty good.
Right.
And that time-saving aspect, I think, is super important.
Oh, yeah, especially for data scientists.
Yeah, they don't want to be messing around with configurations. They want to be solving problems.
Solving those big problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So Base Command takes care of all the
Plumbing.
plumbing, exactly.
So the data scientists can focus on the big picture.
The big picture.
And NVIDIA claims that Base Command integrates really well with their DGX systems.
Seamless integration.
Yeah. And it offers significant performance gains.
How much are we talking?
Well, they cited some customer experiences where they saw 3 to 5 times performance improvements
Wow.
just by using their software on DGX hardware.
That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
So you're saying the combination is really key.
Yeah, it's all about synergy.
Synergy.
And speaking of results, the ebook has this case study about Lockheed Martin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the aerospace and defense company.
Yeah, I know them.
They're using DGX for something called AI-based predictive maintenance.
Predictive maintenance. That sounds interesting.
It is. It's basically being able to predict when a critical part on an aircraft needs maintenance
Before it failed.
before it even shows signs of failure.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're using AI to analyze data from sensors and identify patterns.
So they can catch those problems early.
Exactly. And the results are pretty impressive.
What kind of results?
They saw a 2x speed up in training time
Wow.
and a 10% accuracy boost compared to their old CPU-based servers.
So the right tools make a big difference.
A huge difference. And this leads us to the third key takeaway from the ebook, which is upskilling your talent and turning AI into a collaboration.
Okay, so we've got the hardware.
Right.
We've got the software.
Yep.
Now we need the people.
Now we need the people, the human element.
The human element.
Because you can have the most powerful AI tools in the world, but if you don't have the expertise to use them,
They're useless.
totally useless. It's like having a Formula One race car.
And not knowing how to drive.
Exactly.
You're not going to win any
It's
races.
going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And the ebook actually mentions that 44% of companies feel like they lack the technical skills
44%.
to really scale their AI initiatives.
That's a lot.
It's a big number, and it shows that it's not just about the tech, it's about having the right people.
Right people with the right skills.
Yeah, who know how to use it effectively.
So what's the solution?
Well, finding the right partners is crucial.
Okay.
The ebook really emphasizes the value of working with experts who understand the entire AI stack.
The whole...
Yeah, from the hardware to the software to implementation. And they highlight the support that NVIDIA offers with their DGX systems.
Like what kind of support?
Things like access to NVIDIA DG experts.
DG experts.
Yeah, and enterprise support.
Sounds like they've got you covered.
Yeah, it's like having a direct line to the AI gurus.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they also offer training
Oh, nice.
that covers everything from deploying to optimizing and managing those DGX systems.
So they really want their customers to succeed.
They do, and they really try to set them up for success and to kind of showcase the potential of these partnerships. The ebook highlights Scotiabank.
Oh, Scotiabank.
Yeah, they're using DGX and working with an NVIDIA DG expert to
Okay.
develop more accurate and explainable loan scorecards.
Long scorecard.
Yeah, it's all about assessing risk.
Oh, interesting.
And they actually achieved a 6 times speed up in scorecard generation.
6 times. That's huge.
It's massive. And they also talk about how Scotiabank integrated Rapids into their workflow.
Rapids, what?
It's part of NVIDIA AI Enterprise, and it allows for something called GPU Accelerated Hyperparameter Tuning.
EPU accelerated hyperparameter.
Tuning.
That's a mouthful.
I know it sounds very technical.
Yeah, break it down for me.
Okay, so imagine you're baking a cake.
Okay, I like cake.
You have a recipe, but you can adjust things like the oven temperature or the baking time.
To get the perfect cake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hyperparameters are kind of like those adjustments in an AI model.
Okay.
They influence how the model learns and performs.
I see.
So GPU-accelerated hyperparameter tuning is basically like having a super fast oven that helps you test different settings much faster.
So you find the perfect cake faster.
Exactly. You get to that perfect result quicker.
That makes sense.
So it's like AI is helping AI.
AI helping AI.
To become even better.
That's meta.
Yeah, it's very meta.
Okay, so we've talked about hardware, software, and expertise.
The human element.
Yeah. But I feel like there's more to this story.
There's a whole other layer, and that's building a platform that can grow and adapt as your AI needs evolve.
Okay, so scaling up.
Scaling up, exactly.
So how do we do that?
Well, that's a great question, and that's what we're going to dive into in part 2 of this deep dive.
I can't wait.
We're going to explore how to truly realize your AI vision.
Awesome.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. So we were talking about choosing the right AI tools and, making sure you have the expertise to use them, but the ebook doesn't stop there. It goes even further and talks about the need for a scalable platform, a purpose-built platform. So what does that even mean? Like, what are we talking about here?
It's all about being ready for the future and those really demanding generative AI models.
Okay, so those more complex models.
Exactly. The ones that can create like realistic images or compose music or even write like really good marketing copy. They're amazing, but they need a lot of power. A ton of data.
So it's not just about having a powerful computer anymore.
No, you need a whole infrastructure that can handle these bigger models.
So it's like upgrading from a, one-person scooter to a bullet train.
Yeah, something like that. You need a system that can not only handle what you're doing now, but also what you might be doing in the future.
Yeah.
AI is moving so fast.
So you need a platform that can keep up.
Exactly. You got to be able to scale up.
And of course, NVIDIA recommends their DGX platforms, specifically NVIDIA Base Command.
Figures.
Right. Well, they highlight how Base Command lets you scale your AI infrastructure like on demand.
On demand.
Yeah. So if you need more power,
you just add more DGX systems.
Exactly. And if you need to manage more AI models, more data sets, Base Command can handle that too.
So it's like a flexible system. You can customize it to fit your needs.
That's the idea. No more one size fits all.
I like that.
Right? Because every organization is different and they have different needs.
Makes sense. And the ebook also mentions DGX Base POD and DGX Super POD.
What are those?
So those are like pre-validated blueprints for building and scaling your AI infrastructure. Okay, so they've already done a lot of the design and testing.
Yeah, they've kind of created a roadmap that you can follow.
So you don't have to start from scratch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like having a set of instructions.
Like IKEA instructions.
Yeah, but way more complex.
Of course.
And they included a case study about this company, CCC Intelligent Solutions.
What do they do?
They use AI for insurance claims.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and they were able to achieve a 2x speed up in their data scientists' experiments using DGX Cloud and on-premises DGX systems.
So they're using both cloud and on-premises.
Yeah, they're kind of using a hybrid approach, and it really helped them accelerate their development process.
And they actually launched a new technology because of it.
They did. They launched CCC Estimate STP, which uses AI to provide really fast claims estimations.
So faster claims processing.
Which means happier customers.
Everyone wins.
Exactly. And the ebook wraps up this section by showcasing a bunch of companies that are already using DGX systems.
Like who?
Oh, top global universities, telcos, pharmaceutical companies.
Wow, so across different industries.
Yeah, it seems like DGX is becoming like the go-to solution.
For organizations that are serious about AI.
Exactly. So we've talked about defining your goals, choosing the right tools.
Making sure it's scalable.
Yeah, building a solid foundation. But what does this all mean for like the average person who's just starting to explore AI? What should they be thinking about?
I think the biggest takeaway, and the one that the ebook really hammers home, is that AI is not just about the technology. It's about having a holistic approach.
So it's not just about buying the latest and greatest AI gadget.
No, you need a strategy.
You need a plan.
You got to think about the whole life cycle of the project from start to finish.
So it's about choosing the right tools, but also having the expertise.
And making sure you can scale up as your needs grow.
So it's a journey, not a destination.
That's a good way to put it.
And with the right approach, the rewards can be huge.
AI had the potential to transform industries.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it's important to use it wisely.
ethically,
responsibly.
for the benefit of everyone.
All right, so we're coming to the end of part 2 of our deep dive, but we're not done yet. In part 3, we'll wrap up our discussion and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned for the final part of our AI journey.
Welcome back to our final part of this AI deep dive. And we've really covered a lot, haven't we?
We really have, from the excitement to the actual how to make these AI projects work.
The nitty-gritty.
Exactly. And I think we've, helped people understand a little bit more about AI adoption.
Demystified it a little bit.
Exactly.
We've seen how important it is to have that clear strategy, the right tools.
So to know-how.
The expertise, to really navigate this world because it's changing so fast.
Rapidly evolving.
But I'm curious, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
where do you see this all going? Like, what's your take on this whole AI revolution?
Well, it's definitely not going away anytime soon. AI is here to stay. It's changing industries. It's changing how we work. And the crazy thing is, we're still just getting started.
It's like we've just scratched the surface. Yeah. Who knows what the future holds?
And with all this potential comes a lot of responsibility, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We need to be careful about how we're using AI.
We need to make sure it's ethical.
That it's used for good.
For the benefit of society.
Right, not just for profit.
Exactly. As AI gets more powerful, the questions of bias, transparency, fairness, they become even more important.
Yeah, it's a conversation we need to have alongside all the technological advancements.
We can't just focus on the how. We need to think about the why and the who.
Exactly. So for our listener who's been with us on this journey, what's the one thing you want them to remember about AI project success?
I'd say the key takeaway is that it's a journey, not a sprint. You're going to be constantly learning, adapting, collaborating, and you need to think about the whole picture, the technology, but also the people.
The human element.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listener with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay. Hit me mine.
Given how fast AI is advancing and how complex it's becoming, what steps are you taking to make sure that your AI projects are not just successful, but also responsible and good for the world?
That's a great question, and hopefully one that our listeners will keep thinking about, because the future of AI is being shaped right now. We all have a part to play.
And on that note, that's a wrap for our deep dive into AI project success factors. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next adventure into the world of knowledge and discovery.